Welcome to the Arkansas Weather Blog. We are your ticket to big weather events, and I'm going to talk more about the latest computer models. Recording this at Thursday, February 4th at about 10:20 in the morning. Just briefly going to discuss one more time, and then I'm going to get to the weather and the snow, about computer models and how I have been searching for the best ways to describe how you should handle computer models when I show them all over the blog and things like that. And I think, I told you on the last blog post, I was at the gym and they had the TV monitors on, and they got all different stations on, and I'm looking, they're showing polls, and I'm, trying to keep my mind off of sweating, and I'm, looking at the TV, and it hit me, as I'm staring off into nowhere, it hit me. Political polls are just like computer models, because, you look at a poll, and you look at a poll and it says, from ABC, CBS, NBC, CNN, Fox, New York Times, and there's just like the NAM, the GFS, the European, the Canadian. I got blocked up by my picture here, the UK Met and the JMA. But anyway, you look at these and you look at the numbers that these polls put out, percentages, 30%, 50%, whatever, and that's just like a computer model. You're looking at the output, but there's more to that. When you dig deeper into the computer models, when you dig deeper into the internals of these political polls, because you can do that, you can look at the methodology they used, you can look at the questions that they asked, how they asked them, who they asked them to. It's just like the computer models that we use for weather. Each one is done differently. And sometimes when you look at a poll, you look over the past few election cycles, a particular poll may have done a really good job. Well, the same thing with computer models. This particular computer model has done a really good job, and maybe this one gets a little more credibility. However, sometimes that political poll isn't correct, and it will miss, just like a computer model. And you have to dig into the guts of that computer model, into the information to see what's going on with it, why it was right, and why it's wrong. And that takes political scientists. You get degrees in that. Political scientists go into it, and they dig into these internals, and they go, this poll is flawed because it asked this many questions to this group, and so I'm throwing that poll out. Same thing with the computer model. This computer model, it didn't initialize, it didn't show where this trough of low pressure was correctly, it didn't initialize this correctly, so it's going to be flawed going out. So let's just throw that one out. Same exact thing happens. And when you look, things change with these polls versus what reality. And you look at the polls 1 week prior to the caucus in Iowa, the Hawkeye caucus, as they call it. But anyway, just for an example, and I just threw this out as an example, I found this on realclearpolitics.com, the NBC poll. Was taken January 24th through the 26th. It had Trump, Cruz, Rubio, and Carson, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Trump 32%, Cruz 25%, 18% Rubio, and Carson at 8%. So the poll was trying to mirror what's going to happen on Election Day. However, it was not correct. And you know what? I'm going to have to move this up so you can see it. I'll just move it over here. So you see Cruz got 27.6 and Trump got 24.3. So those first two are switched, and the actual was not what the poll showed. Now the polls did have all four of the correct top four candidates, right? But the output was wrong. So I just see there's a very strong analogy, I think, between political polls and computer models. And so I hope that when I show these in the future, that you have a better understanding of these computer models. And when you see them all over the internet, you think, okay, it's a computer model. Just like a political poll, it may be onto something. It may be right. But let's see, it may not be, because there's some things that maybe there's something flawed with it. So here we go. Let's get into this right now. This is the Saturday, this is the new GFS Saturday morning, this up and coming Saturday morning, a positively tilted trough. And when I say that, that means that the trough axis is oriented from the southwest to the northeast, coming through. Very little moisture. This is not a big storm, but there is some upper level energy with this. And the conditions in the morning at the surface may be conducive. And the computer model at times shows some very light. Now it's showing it northeast Arkansas. I don't know if I believe that, but it's been pretty consistent with southwest and western Arkansas, maybe a little bit of light rain, light snow mix. Pretty harmless system coming through. But I wouldn't doubt if I'm working Saturday daybreak or somebody, hey Todd, I got snowflakes in Mena. I mean, it's possible. Or Rich Mountain, or up there at Queen Wilhelmina. I wouldn't doubt that happened. So let's go to next week. And this is Monday afternoon at 8. This is 18Z, so this is noon, 500 millibars. You see California here, Arkansas here. You see a big ridge going up, and the ridge axis is centered right here along the west coast of the United States, which is, again, favoring that downstream trough, and the trough axis just east of Arkansas. I think the coldest air, and as I said, when there's a lot of talk about the coldest air of the season, with the computer models, we're showing that the coldest air of the season coming, and I'm not doubting that. I think, yeah, the coldest air of the season may be coming for some parts of the Midwest. I just kind of hesitated with that across Arkansas, and I still do. Don't get me wrong. It's going to be cold next week, and it could rival the coldest air of the season. That's possible. But this is the surface chart late in the day on Monday, and you see the area of low pressure up here in the Great Lakes, and the flow around this air flowing into it counterclockwise. Here's the 540 line, well towards the south, an indication of the rain snow line. So anything that basically falls north of that into this situation would be snow, most likely. And again, this is not how we get big snowstorms, but I really think there's the possibility northern Arkansas, especially with higher elevations, could see some snow flurries or snow showers. You're talking about maybe some light accumulations up there. Further south into central Arkansas, wouldn't doubt if you saw a snow flurry. Don't think it'd be a big deal. Looks like maybe more organization up here towards the Ohio River Valley. But again, and even there, it's not all that much. But the ratios may be higher up there, so you may get some accumulations up towards the north and the east of Arkansas. Southern Arkansas, little, if any. Now let's take a look at temperatures. These are, I see I got this out of order. How can I do this? Whoop, I can change it just like that. Okay, so these are the GFS maximum temperatures, which I think are probably a little overdone. This is Monday afternoon, showing 42 degrees for Little Rock, 30s north. So that's cold. Told you. I think maybe a little overdone. It may be in the 30s for highs. Wind chills in the 30s. But the other thing I want you to notice is at night, you would expect in this pattern for these temperature lows at night just to plummet. So let's look at those lows. Tuesday morning, 28. Even colder than that. And the reason is because wind and clouds holding temperatures up, according to what the model is showing you. So I'm looking into the guts of the model saying, okay, so why is it showing me 28? Just like a political poll. Why is it this computer model showing me that, with all this Arctic air, it's only taking the temperature down at night to 28 degrees? Well, that's because when you look at it, most likely you have the winds that are elevated preventing the temperatures from dropping, and the clouds, some clouds moving in and out. But the wind chill temperatures in the teens across the north and the 20s, it's going to get cold. Could it be the coldest air of the season? It's possible. But it's going to be cold next week. So I have bloviated now for 8 minutes again. I just get to talking. I can't shut myself up. Anyway, I want to thank all the kids over at Baker Elementary. I did something, I cannot believe it. I thought, I've been doing TV weather. Now, when I look at the years have gone by, almost 20 years now doing TV meteorology. And I've never missed a school visit. And I missed one. First time that's ever happened. It totally slipped my mind, so I made it up. I went to the school, Baker Elementary, first grade class. They are now graduates of the Todd Jacobian School of Weather. I felt horrible about that, but we had a great time. Had about a 40-minute discussion about winter weather and severe weather, and those kids know what to do when there's severe weather. Thank you again for coming and making the Arkansas Weather Blog your choice for in-depth weather information. We are your ticket to big weather events.